What's up, my friends? Welcome back to another video, and today we are taking a look at another sample library. Again, this is a vocal library, and it's called Ethera Gold Atlantis, created by Zero G and Stefano Macarelli. Stefano, I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, but he definitely has the credits to back it up. You can definitely see he's worked for all of these different companies, and so he definitely has the credits there, so he knows what he's doing. And yeah, he was very kind to send me a copy of this library for review. And if you stick around to the very end, he's actually giving away a copy of this library as well. So I'm very excited to give you more details on that at the very end. But without further ado, let's kind of take a look at the library. We'll do a playthrough of the patches, and then you can decide for yourself whether this is something you think is a good fit for you. So this library is kind of in addition to the Ethera series. I think there's multiple libraries in the catalog now, but this is the newest one, and it is specifically focused on the Celtic, more romantic style of legato, and so it has a very interesting character to it. Here they say Celtic, fantasy, medieval, and emotional solo vocals. So vocals are notoriously hard to sample because solo instruments have that exposed nature to them, right? And so when you hear the legato transitions, it's very easy to hear if the transitions themselves are not smooth enough or they don't connect in a natural way. And because the voice is also so dynamic, there's a lot of subtlety and nuance that goes into sampling the human voice. So we're going to take a look at whether this library accomplishes what it sets out to do. There are 6 multi-sampled contact instruments, so basically 6 NKIs, 6 gigabytes of samples, true legato. There's also a romantic true legato, 7 different legato articulations, so ahs, oohs, and so on and so forth, and different syllables. Then there's also a phrase builder and also some sustains that are that sound really, really nice, and then some vocal phrases to round things off. Okay, so without further ado, let's kind of have a listen. And then we're gonna go through the patches, and you can let me know what you think. All right, let's start off with the romantic true legato. So here you can see this is the playable range right here in the middle in the white notes, and let's just have a playthrough. Here we go. All right, so first of all, let's talk about the actual scripting, the actual sound. First of all, it has a very full and rich sound. I think you would agree on that. There's a very smooth legato here as well. You can hear those transitions are very natural, and something that's usually more pronounced in ensemble vocal libraries is the legato transitions, sometimes to the point of sounding unnatural. But this library, I actually feel they kind of found that balance between too soft and too quiet in terms of the transition. So the actual glides and slides between the different notes actually sounds pretty natural. There's the only transitions that don't seem to be working for me, and it's just could be a little bug, is from the high F to something like the F to the B flat. So that perfect fourth there, see, I'm playing the B flat right now, but it's not triggering. Let me try F to B. So F to B, so that augmented fourth is not working either, but F to A is totally fine. Let me try going from B down. So yeah, B down to F isn't working either. B to F sharp. Yeah, that one. Yeah, so it seems like from the B going down about a third seems to work, but anything larger than that is kind of cutting off for me right there. That could just be a little scripting bug. I can always reload in the patch, but I have done that, and that's just something that's just to keep in mind, okay? But anyway, in terms of the other notes, the overall sound of this is gorgeous, and you also notice how the dynamic range is quite evident, even without riding the mod wheel, actually. So the lowest note, the G here, you hear how it's very, very quiet, right? And then as we go higher, let's go to the next G. The dynamic is now about, let's say, an MPMF. Let's go up another octave. And now she soars into that forte, almost fortissimo register, and this is all being played without the mod wheel. So it has a very natural response, because you feel that, you know, when the vocalist sings, naturally they'd be very quiet in the low notes because they don't need as much air to breathe, to sing. And then as they go higher, you know, they need more air to push out that sound and to really let it resonate throughout the hall or the room, whatever they're being recorded in. And so it's a very natural way to do that here. And I believe because there's two dynamic layers, you do get that full expression. But the transitions between those two dynamic layers is also very seamless. So that's basically the romantic true legato. And you also notice one more thing. From note to note, between some of the notes, there's a bit of a waver. Right? It almost sounds like she's delaying a little bit, or she's setting up the note to then transition to it. And some people might think this is, oh, like this is an impure thing, but I actually personally think it adds a lot of character to it. If you find that the delay is a little too much for you, because there is a little bit of a delay, then you just have to move the MIDI notes back, or you can do your own pre-delay system that you usually do, just to make sure the notes transition or move on time. All right? Very simple patch. And a great way to start. Let's move on to the regular true legato patch. And this one has all the different articulations that were advertised. So uz, ooze, soft uz, ease or IH, and then some different syllables here with the phonemes. And these are all key switchable, as you can see here in the red range. So this is all right there, okay? And different colors there to match. Let's have a listen to some of these articulations here. So let's start with the uz. Okay, so this patch also has so much character and so much life to it. And you notice the dynamic range in this patch specifically is actually a little more consistent compared to the romantic true legato, where it's very, very expressive, and she really soars up into those higher dynamics in those upper notes. For the regular true legato patch, you get all those syllables, but the actual dynamic range is more consistent across the singable range, essentially. Another thing you notice is that the overall thing is actually very playable, but something you might have noticed here was the legato knob here was kind of switching, and you see it says sustain pedal. So when I press the pedal, it actually switches to a faster legato, which allows you to play slightly faster. Now, this library is not made to actually play runs, right? But you are going to get that option if you want a little faster of a legato. However, I do feel like the slower legato speaks the best and actually yields the best results if you want a natural performance. So this entire library is kind of catered towards that romantic, slower, passionate vocal performance. Just something to keep in mind there. But if you do want a faster legato, you can absolutely press the pedal for that. Cool. All right, let's move on to the sustains. Now, this is a special patch. The red keys up here, there are 6 different ones, and these have different starting syllables, essentially, or different articulations for the sustains. And then this purple key range, or playable range, is where she can sing regular sustains. But this yellow part is really cool, because here you have a bunch of like drones and sound design elements. And like pads, right? Setting up that texture. So that's all in the yellow range. I'm just playing C, G, and C. Now I'll add some vocals on top. Isn't that just gorgeous? Man, that is sweet. Okay, let's hear some of these other ones. Man, yeah. I mean, you're just creating soundscape just like that, and it's just such a nice sound. Such a full sound. You can really hear the mid-range really soaking up all of that stereo image, right? It's just so beautiful. And the other thing is that yeah, it doesn't really matter what you're playing in the yellow range. That fundamental is just going to lend such a beautiful bass to whatever you play in the purple range. You probably don't want to play too much, because again, these are lower notes, which according to the harmonic series fills up very easily with the overtones. So you just want to make sure you leave enough frequency space for your singable notes in the purple range. All right. One of the standouts of this library is the Phonemes Builder, and this has a super cool script that's applied to it. First of all, you see these different slots here contain these pre-recorded phrases, and they're kind of mixed up, you know, but you can absolutely assign any one you want to it. So let's say for the first slot, it goes qui ri elle ils ont, right? But you could switch that to any of these phrases you want. Let's say I want to stick with phrase 1 though. So if I play this, she's going to sing that phrase. And then the song, right? Then it's not going to switch until you press this green key switch here on the E1. And that is going to move it to the next phrase that's allotted there, right? So if I want to go, for example, from phrase 1, let me go back to phrase 1 from the Kiri. And let's, you know, in the Izon. But now I want to go to the third one with the crew, then I can click it twice, the key switch. And now we have this second phrase right there, right? And so these two key switches here, sorry, this red one here at the very bottom allows you to reset the entire thing. And then when you press the green key switch, it shows back up on the first slot. So if at any point you're cycling through the syllables, but then you want to go back to the beginning, then you can press the red key switch and then the green key switch to bring you back to the first one. So this is not as much of a word builder. This is more of a phrase connector, if you will, you know? So again, and this is also tempo syncs too. So if let's say my DAW is at 120 BPM, for example, this is going to go according to your DAW tempo. Now, let's say you don't want to use the green key switch every time to go to the next thing. You can actually go here to time and select one of these. So let's say a quarter. And if I press this key, whatever, then I let go, the next time it's going to switch to the next slot. And I let go again, and then play, and then you see it automatically shifts to the next slot. One more thing I want to mention here is that if you start to play, let's say a note, I'm going to play middle C, and then I add another note, like an E on top. Do you notice how when I added the second note, the phrase actually continued along where it was last instead of starting from the very beginning? So this is the very smart script I was talking about. So for example, if I play... So the notes are changing, but the actual phrase itself stays intact no matter what notes I'm adding to that phrase, which is really, really cool. I don't think I've seen another library that can do that, and so I think it's just a really ingenious script there, and it sounds awesome, right? It actually sounds like she's singing maybe the top line, but then she's transitioning to the next line, to the next note, but maintaining that same phrase. So that's a really natural way to create those vocal phrases. All right, almost there. Now patch number 5, this one's also really cool. Kind of similar to the one with the sustains, the regular sustains up here, number 3. But here we have the vocal phrases, and just starting with some of these regular phrases here. Now you notice how it's in a specific key, right? So C minor recorded at 90 beats per minute, but you can also change it to C major, D minor, D major, E minor, E major, and then G minor, A minor, and then some other ones as well. But they do give you a variety of keys that you can play in. Not every single one, but you do have enough for a variety of applications. So let's just say we want to go to D minor. Now we're going to get D minor phrases. This one's specifically D harmonic minor because you hear that C sharp. Cool. Another thing you can do is add multiple phrases. So you can play 2 notes at the same time. So here, you can actually create a drone. So it's in D minor, so this drone is going to be on a D. Okay? These other keys create other things, so this is a pulse, for example. This is another drone on D with some sound design elements there. Then you get some shakers, some percussion, and finally another drone. So let's say I like this drone. I'm going to add some phrases on top. Amazing. And then here in the very top, on this purple key range, you basically get these vocal pads that are mapped by key to the correct note. So for example, if you play a G, you're going to get a nice G sustain there in the voice. But you can layer these together, right? So if I play one of those D drones at the very bottom, then I can layer, let's say, an A vocal pad on the very top in the purple range. Let's go up an octave, actually. Never mind, it only goes up to the G. But you hear the A there, then I can play one of the phrases in the middle. Let's add an E in the purple key range, so another E pad on the top, then another vocal phrase. And now maybe let's add one of the rhythmic elements. Incredible. That is so, so cool. So yeah, you literally have so many options here. Again, that yellow key range, excuse me, gives you kind of like the drones, but it also gives you the rhythmic elements that you can splice in there or add in there to just spice up that arrangement even more. Whereas this purple key register at the top gives you that sound design vocal pad that you can add on top of it in kind of like the middle register. And then you have these more exposed vocal phrases that you can add on top of that fundamental arrangement as well. And again, you have all these different ones you can choose from, recorded at different BPMs. Again, that's probably one of my favorite patches in the library. And then finally, you have some reverse vocal phrases with a very similar idea. All right, and we'll stop it there. But yeah, just generally, I mean, so yeah, this patch has a little more of a reverb to it. It's a little more ethereal in nature, right? With the regular vocal patch, vocal phrases patch, you do get those more defined phrases. But yeah, this one is just a really nice arrangement filler, if you will. It adds a lot of texture to the background. So yeah, surprisingly, this is a very full, all-encompassing package actually for solo vocals. Again, just to recap, it comes with 6 patches, so it's not like it's overwhelming you, but you do get the Romantic True Legato, which is a very simple patch, very functional, does exactly what it sets out to do, and has a lot of character and dynamics in it. The True Legato patch has different articulations and different syllables, basically. And the dynamic range is much more consistent, and there's also a lot of character in this as well. Both patches featuring this pedal for the faster legato, but again, the slower legato feels like it actually works a little bit better, in my opinion. Then we have the sustains, which again are kind of similar. It's like the legato, but again, it's sustained, it's polyphonic, but you can add this low drone area in the yellow key range, and then the red allows you to switch some of the syllables. Phonemes Builder is like a phrase builder. You can key switch with the green, or you can have it set up with one of these time parameters so that it switches automatically when you let go of the note and then press again. Then you have the vocal phrases, probably my favorite patch actually. You can have your vocal phrases here in the middle, but then you have the drone on the bottom or the rhythm elements, and then you have additional pad textures at the top. And then finally, the reverse vocal phrases allows you to create additional texture with the reverb and sound design affected vocal phrases. So lots of choice here and lots of abilities to literally create full cues just using this one library. It's not just a one-trick pony. There's a lot contained in here. So I do want to congratulate Stefano on just a wonderful effort. And you can tell the love and the attention that has really gone into this library. I honestly think it's a no-brainer for $50. Regular price is 60 or 70 bucks, I believe. But even so, that's still a wonderful price for a library of this quality and caliber. So let me know your thoughts on this. I would love to hear maybe if this is something that you think would suit your needs in terms of the vocal stuff. Maybe you already have vocal libraries, but maybe this would add a unique color. And for me, it certainly fills that hole in my template. I definitely can see myself using this for those more moody moments, or I want a smooth soaring vocal that sits on top of an arrangement beautifully. This will definitely be one of my go-tos. Do keep in mind though, this is not a Kontakt player library, so you do need the full version of Kontakt, which you should already have, because a lot of great gold nugget libraries are not for Kontakt player. They're only for the full version of Kontakt. So it is worth getting it. It's a one-time investment. You might as well pick it up, and you have access to all these wonderful libraries like this one. If you already own the full version of Kontakt and you are interested in potentially winning a copy of this library, then again, I'm doing another giveaway. And big thanks to Stefano for doing this, but there's really only 3 things you need to do to be entered. So number 1 is to make sure you're on my email list, because this is where I'm sending you the results of this giveaway. And this is where I also send you free content every single week to help you with your compositions and your mockups, and exclusive content that I don't share anywhere else. So you simply just need to fill out the form below and you'll be on. The second thing you need to do is leave a comment under this video and let me know what you would use the library for. and yeah, what kind of music you would make using it in your productions. I'd love to chat with you about that. And finally, just leave a like on this video because it really helps my channel out with the algorithm, and it's just the perfect way to support the channel if you're enjoying the work that I'm doing. So thank you so much again. Remember to follow those steps and you'll automatically be entered. This giveaway will end on March 12th. So there's 3 days to enter, and make sure you are on. Again, just make sure you're subscribed to the list because, again, this is where I send you free content, but I'll also be sending the winners through there, or the winner, I should say. He's giving 1 copy. And even if you don't win, that's totally fine because I'll be doing more giveaways like this in the future. So thank you again. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care, my friend. Bye-bye.